Hey everybody, it's Mark with Mark's Home Hobbies. How's it going? Yeah, I'm doing okay, I guess. Uh, yeah, this is a PC that I purchased from a garage sale. I was out riding my hay bike Mars, and I happened upon a garage sale. And just to show you a little bit more about this computer, it had a sign on it when I purchased it. It said gaming computer, and then here was the price. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, $50. So $50 was the price for all this equipment right in here and the little basket. And the basket has the power adapters and the speakers and a wireless mouse. These guys right here. It's got the little dongle built in the bottom. And yeah, a couple of speakers. Random little guys there. And this guy here has a Cooler Master case, gateway, widescreen monitor, and appears to be an RGB keyboard with some kind of dial on there. I don't know, volume control or something. Something that has to do with gaming, I guess. I'm not a gaming expert. I do know it looks like it has a fairly decent video card. I doubt it's anything spectacular. Just by looking at it, it's only got one stick of RAM in it. And it's only got one hard drive. And nothing real spectacular there. Got a fan in the top. Probably got a fan in front. It's got some front panel controls there. You can see that. It's got a DVD. Oops, just dropped you there. Got a DVD M disc, LG. And it's a Cooler Master. Yeah. And this is an ASIO keyboard, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's the whole setup there. But what I was saying is I was on my bike and I happened upon this garage sale. And so I I was talking with the lady that had the garage sale. And I said, do you know anything about the computer? What kind of processors in it, or what, if it works or whatever? And she said, oh yeah, it works. And it was her son's computer. And make a short story long, that he just wanted to get rid of it. He was no longer using it anymore. So I said, well, I said, yeah, that's nice. I said, what all's on it? What kind of processor could you call them, and maybe ask them what it is? I said, because if it would be something that I would be interested in, I would know by those specifications. So she called him on the phone, and he kind of told me a little bit about it. So I said, well, $50. I said, she goes, okay, you can have it for $30. So I says, okay, $30 it is. So she held it for me, and I went back and got my truck and came back and picked the computer up because I didn't really want to strap it down on the bike. I could have, but I didn't want to risk damaging any components inside. It is a regular hard drive. It's not a solid state hard drive in there or anything, so it could be damaged by shock or something, so I didn't want to bump it around. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is assemble it up, and I'll fire this guy up. I'll plug everything in, see what is going on. I'm almost sure it's probably a clean install of maybe Windows 10 or something like that on there, and it's probably like I want to say an AMD or something processor on there, and maybe an Intel graphics card or AMD graphics card. I don't know. Nothing real spectacular, I don't think, but who knows? Could get lucky. Like the hard drive, I don't know how big the hard drive is either, but it's a gaming computer. What can I say? So anyways, when I get that taken care of, I'll bring you back. Stay tuned. All right, we're back, and I did a little bit of disassembly to the computer here just to make sure everything's all right, and not going to have any problems, or if there is any problems, we'll head them off before they actually become a problem, because I think what I want to do with this computer is use it to do some gaming on. perhaps. And I put some racing games on here and connect my big screen projector up to this, and perhaps several monitors if, I think it does have the capability of doing several, yeah. So, and then we'll rearrange the wiring, and we'll rearrange the fans and all the equipment, and we'll make it into a proper looking computer. And, who knows, we may add some other stuff to it as we go along. This is some of the stuff that I found laying around. Well, this is the Crucial memory stick. I'm not paid or advertising for them, but this is the stick that was in it. Don't know if I'll focus. There it goes. That was what was in it. Nothing special. And we got one extra slot. So what we'll do is, there we go. We'll add that one. It's only a 4-megger or 4-gigger, but megs. I'm looking at too many old pieces of memory. We're going to add 4 more gigs anyway, so that'll give us a total of 12. Windows 10 can handle that. I think it can handle up to 64 or maybe 128 or maybe infinite. I can't really remember. It's been so long since I was really in the IT quote game. I'm not really up on it anymore. All I know is what fits and what makes the machine turn on and what it needs to work. Anyways, the inside of it is pretty unremarkable, to coin a phrase. Yeah, it's just a bunch of wires stuffed down in there and attached to a good old hard drive, and then a couple of PCI power cords there and connected into that video card, which is pretty doggone dusty. And there's the CPU stir. It had some thermal paste on it at one point in time. It had some dust around it too, so I'm going to get a Q-tip and some alcohol. Actually, I'm going to be using this stuff, screen cleaner, which is alcohol in a spray. So I'll be using that, and I'm not going to get too much all over everything, but just to clean that CPU up before I use this stuff right here, which was pretty expensive actually. Got this from Micro Center. It's supposed to be the kitty's foot, as we like to say. Anyways, yeah, this is the equipment that came out of it so far. This was the heatsink. Yeah, let's call it a heatsink, I guess. I mean, the computer is very clean and everything, and it smells very good, and it's like, smells like some kind of air freshener or whatever, but this is what lays deep down inside. So if you fire this computer up, sure, it'll run. For how long? Especially not having very much thermal paste on there at all. It's just all worn out. There wasn't a lot on there to begin with. So, yeah. And then having this sitting up on top of it, well, that's not good. That's a cooler master, but I doubt it was mastering any kind of cooling at all, basically. It probably was just spinning, and maybe a little air was coming out of there. I don't know. But we'll clean it up. We'll take it outside, or take it over the garbage can and pump some air through it. And we'll see what we can do without spinning it around. Because, if you spray these things with air and you spin it real fast, you can blow the diode inside of this fan very easily, because it's only made to spin at a certain amount of RPM. So if you successfully spin it at over that RPM by external means, you could risk blowing the tiny little surface mount diode that's on the circuit board inside of this chip, or inside of this fan. So just know that. And the same with any of this equipment. Exposure to water or static electricity of any kind is going to really ruin your day. So be careful when you do it. Always make sure you know which way the wires go on if you're going to take something like this apart, because supposedly it was a working unit, so we want it to be a working unit when we're done. I'll bring it back when I get some more done. All right, did a little bit more work. Got her cleaned up somewhat there, and got the dust blown out of it, and took out I think I showed this already, but this is now the CPU cooler, which will be mounted the right way. They had it this end on top of the CPU, which is wrong. Here's the fan. cleaned it up as best I could, get all the dust out of it. Seems like it's still pretty good. So it is a 40 millimeter fan too. So, and this was the video card that's in there. This thing. So this is a XFX. Don't know anything else about it. There's a couple of DVI ports on there. There's a HDMI. So yeah, got to use this with a higher end monitor, I guess. Can't use no VGA with it, and it's got to have one of them there special blue slots. I think that's a Express or something like that, PCI Express. I'm not really sure. I know there's Express 2 and Express 3, and they all have different specifications. And there's the CPU. I cleaned all the gook off of it using the screen cleaner and a piece of paper towel, which works excellent, by the way. Now I'm going to take and unbundle all these wires, cut the little plastic, very poorly done tie wraps, which are very sharp on the ends. Whenever you do tie wraps, don't cut them to a point, okay? Just cut them straight off, all right? Cut them flush. Take a tip from the non-pro builder, okay? Always mount your equipment close by too. Like, I'll show you on this, and I'm no pro anyways doing this, but I was in the IT industry for many years, and I built many computers. This is your hard drive right here, which is a 1 terabyte hard drive, so yeah, pretty good deal on that. We'll see if it's a real fast one or if it's a slower model. Probably a slower model. This computer's a few years old. Anyways, what we would do is not to mount the hard drive down here by the bottom where it collects dust. Okay, well, let's not do that. If we have the option, let's mount it up here, because that way these cables are closer, and then the motherboard, all the cables can come right down here instead of half the cables going way down here and half the cables going way up there. Thus a bundle here, a bundle there, when you could be bundling in the middle where it really counts, and then get that up on top or underneath here, you know, where there's some room to put it, instead of having it out here in the way. Like this fan here, I'll show you this to those that are amateur builders. This is what you don't want to do. You don't want to mount this size fan back right in this slot here, because you know what, with this motherboard, it interferes with this one memory latch right here, to where it's almost very, very hard to close the latch. It's very close when you got to put that stick in there. So I would suggest using this slot right here, because in that way it will give you full access, and there's nothing that needs to be done on that section of the motherboard. So if you have the choice of these two holes, you would want to take that one. Just a tip for amateur builders. And plus your other fan is right here, so the two cables can be cable tied and then can come down right here, thus you don't see any cables. Okay, that's the whole, you know, like when you build a gaming PC and you have the side cover that's clear and you have all the nice pretty lights inside of there, the trick of the case really is to get the wiring as clean as possible and as short as possible, and to make it look like a pro did it, even though, you know, you and me both know that pro didn't do it. So yeah, that's my point anyway. So when I do a little bit more, I'll bring you back, show you some more. Stay tuned. And we're back. I did a little bit more work, a little more processing, and I've still got to do a little cleaning. There's some fine dust here and there. Now that I've removed some parts, I'm finding all kinds of little surprises, little adapters and little things that are on there for whatever reason, wires that are routed the wrong way. So anyways, I just started on this project here, and already I can see that I'm going to have to remove the main board, because a lot of these wires have to go in back of the main board apparently, because otherwise they interfere in their current location, which I don't see any real way to alleviate that, because they come from the top up there and they end up over here on the motherboard. So ideally where they would end up would be over here on the motherboard, but it is not like that. It is over here, and this wire right here, you only have so much wire to play with, and I can't get it to go around the top there, so really there's not much on the bottom of these motherboards, and this wire is very well insulated, so I could conceivably see that wire going behind the board. Yeah, it won't interfere with it because the board does sit up off the chassis a little ways, so you would have plenty of room underneath here to pass wires by, so to speak. So anyhow, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to undo the motherboard from the chassis. There's just 4 screws. And I'm going to slip those wires underneath there and see how that looks, because it's going to interfere with the video card goes right there. I kind of really don't want to have it running right across the top of the hot video card. I'd rather have it underneath the board, I think, away from everything. Much more cleaner looking that way too. So let me try it and see. I'll bring you back when I'm done. Stay tuned. Hey everybody. Now, today I was working on the $30 PC, and several things happened. Might be quite interesting to discuss those things. One other thing is that it is a dual head system, so we've got 2 monitors set up on here. My main objective for this system is to make a mixing / video editing desk, kind of for cheap, so I can do my video editing on here and have a decent computer and leave my upstairs PC alone, because it gets too garbaged up with stuff. So anyways, yeah, you can see it's running just fine. There's Mark's Home Hobbies, running on YouTube just fine, real nice and smooth. It's a 3 gig video card, ATI. It's all ATI system, not ATI. What do they call that? AMD. Brain fart there. Sorry about that. AMD system, AMD video card, and AMD processor. It's only a 6-core processor, but that should be plenty. I did work on the processor a little bit. I cleaned it all out. Excuse me. And I did notice that one thing, I could not get the BIOS, get into the BIOS settings, the basic input-output systems of the computer with this RGB keyboard. It was just booting so fast that it was booting right past the BIOS. It was quick boot was enabled, and some other settings in the BIOS were enabled that was allowing it to bypass the keyboard stroke to get into the BIOS to make any changes. So several pieces of equipment that are known working to me. I'll just get one of them for you. This right here, I tried plugging this Wi-Fi adapter in here. That's just a Netgear Wi-Fi adapter. It's pretty generic Wi-Fi adapter that works on most PCs with the drivers. You can get them off the internet pretty easy for it. So anyhow, I wanted to install that network card, and so I could install some software on here, browser, and some other things that I needed to get, drivers and things like that. So I went to go and install that on a USB, and this thing has about 6 USB ports. So I plugged it in, and I could never get the blue light to come on, which usually always comes on, although this one here is a Proxim, and this one here is quite a special little deal, and I'll talk about that more in a minute too. This is a Wi-Fi 802N adapter, where this is 802G. So what's the difference, you might ask? The difference is a lot. This is 150 megabits per second. This is 54. So if you use that, you will get a connection, but your connection will be, let's say, less than quality if you're down in a basement with concrete walls like this, and your AT&T fiber router is upstairs in your studio. It's about maybe 60 feet away through about 4 walls. So this little adapter right here is performing the functions quite well, actually, providing very nice video. I could go full screen and show you that it's really working good. I guess I should do that. Let's go full screen here and just see how it looks. Oh yeah. So you can see, if we monitor that video a little bit there, it's not stuttering, or there's no problem with transmission. No problem at all. Yeah, so anyways, after much struggling, I finally figured it out. This keyboard here is something you will not find too often in anybody's place anymore, because it's a PS2 keyboard. And what's really weird about it is it's a Windows PS2 keyboard. Yeah, so it's quite a strange beast. I don't know where I came up with that at, but after trying to figure out how I was going to get into the BIOS of the machine here using the keyboard to supply the delete key upon post, I was not able to do it with this RGB keyboard because it's USB, and for whatever reason it was not running that routine in time to to get the keystroke into the system in order to enable the BIOS settings to come up. So after much hunting and searching in my house, I found this hiding upstairs in a closet, and I plugged it in, and yes, voila, I was able to get the necessary delete key function and set the BIOS to some more manageable settings, which then allowed me to install this little gem right here, which I could not get to work before either. For some reason or another, I couldn't get the light to come on. And also allowed me to install this gem, which immediately recognized the driver, which I spent 3 hours messing around with drivers, could not get any lights to come on, trying different USB ports, everything that I could think of. Being a semi-computer professional from the old days, I learned quite a few tricks, and I tried all those tricks, and I was not able to come up with the trick until I plugged this keyboard in right here, this one, the PS2 keyboard, and then I was able to go into the BIOS, and I was able to manipulate some of the settings in there and change the legacy USB setting. Okay, it had 2 of those in there. One was support legacy USB hardware, so that was on, so I turned that off. And then there was another one that was support legacy USB hard drive, so I turned that one off too. And I then connected all my equipment back up, connected my monitors back up, fired it up, and guess what? I was immediately prompted to install the software for this, which I had already downloaded off the internet, and put it on a USB thumb drive, which I had in a different port, which it recognized, and I was able to install the software for it. And then I was able to connect to the internet. And now I should be able to, in theory, unplug this. I have both of these keyboards plugged in. I should be able to just unplug this one here, and it should still operate fine with the other keyboard. And if my theory is also correct, now with the legacy stuff being disabled for the USB instead of enabled, I should be able to perform the delete key using a USB keyboard. But just for precautions, I'm going to keep this guy around for the rest of my life. It saved me so much time and so much effort, and gave me a working PC for $30 basically. I didn't have to add anything to it, and I still have some other hardware that I'm going to add in there. I have some other hard drives, and I ended up putting a solid state hard drive, a small one, in it that I had on a laptop, and I've got a couple other hard drives laying around I'll probably put in there too, just to use some of the equipment, I guess. And next time I show it to you, I'll give you an update on this video as I get to some of this stuff. It probably won't be a while, maybe in a month or so, after I get the mixing desk all set up and the audio, and I get the monitors arranged the way I want them, and all the video cameras and everything like that. Then I'll show you what I've been working on here. And I got some other hobby videos too that I'm going to be showing too, some other car videos. There's a lot of hobby stuff sitting right there. Just waiting. There's the mountain back there. Yep. And this right here, since we're now into the 400 plus subscriber range, this right here is going to be given away to some lucky subscriber. And remember, in order to qualify for any giveaways on Mark's Home Hobbies channel, you have to make a comment and also be a subscriber. So at some point in time, when we get to 500 subscribers, I'm going to give this puppy away right here. So some lucky person is going to be the owner of this brand new Bravo Monster RC car. And yeah, you'll be mighty happy. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. I know it's not a real, I mean, this is kind of a hobby of mine, building PCs, kind of, electronics and all that. So I guess, yeah, it does qualify for the hobby thing. But yeah, I want to thank you for watching and stopping by, and all the new subscribers, I want to thank you for subscribing too. Whatever brought you to my channel, I appreciate you being here, appreciate you watching my videos, and I'll try to make some more videos sooner in the future. I just had a few things going on I had needed to get taken care of, and I promise that I'll make some more videos for you and keep you happy so you don't unsubscribe for me. So anyways, this is Mark from Mark's Home Hobbies saying have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.